what's all the commotion at Facebook.com today? Last Friday, the world learned what type of monetary value the rest of the world would put on a company started 8 years ago called Facebook. Great anticipation, biggest IPO in the history of the world. And I watched the activity as closely as possible, the activity preceding the event and the event itself. And I had to laugh a great deal because people were complaining that the $16 billion that Facebook raised, valuing the company at $104 billion, wasn't enough or was too much. Total craziness. And so yesterday, Monday, the market corrected itself, and I thought I read that there was a 14% decrease in the cost of a share of Facebook stock. And once again, I had to laugh. The blame was going to go to Goldman Sachs, which I believe was the main institution that was directing the IPO effort. And the numbers that we're throwing around and the disappointment, it's fascinating. Where we as small business folks try to do the best that we can to create as much value as we can for our little companies. It might be $10,000, it might be $100,000, $200,000. It doesn't make any difference. It's what we do. It's the goals and objectives that we set for ourselves and our companies. And the fact that people are now criticizing Facebook is once again very fascinating to me, and I wonder if it's well-directed criticism or if it's just another example of people's greed for money, and everybody wants a piece of the pie. So they bought Facebook stock. I read some stories, some folks that I follow. One fellow bought 100 shares of Facebook stock last Friday at $38 a share. Spent just under $4,000 for that. I am sure that Michael will get a return on his investment. He even made headlines locally in Cincinnati, where I live. A local investor was able to buy 1,000 shares of Facebook at $38 a share. That whole IPO thing obviously was for the large, folks who were primary investors into the stock market and had the connections to even buy Facebook stock, which I guess will be made available to you and I soon, or is available now, doesn't matter. Today I actually was reading a story, Facebook's ad problem. Now here's the real situation. Facebook was valued at $104 billion. Facebook is about a company, about the vision of an entrepreneur, a 28-year-old entrepreneur who was able to connect the world. And that was his goal, connect the world. There's only about 3 parts of the world that aren't truly connected into Facebook. That's China, Spain, India. Imagine how many folks will be in the will take Facebook over the 1 billion number of profiles in the community. 1 billion profiles. More importantly, I think, is what's the true business value. If you choose Facebook, we know the value of Facebook in people sharing information. That's without question. We tell folks about what we are doing, our friends, our families, friends of our families, families of our friends. We share that information, we share pictures. Amazing statistics about Facebook that more than 500 million users spend more than 3 hours a day inside that community. That's the amazing thing. It's not that the company is worth $104 billion or whatever the investors of the world say the company is worth. So many people are now trying to find out how to use Facebook as part of their marketing efforts. And just this morning, in an email I read from a website called smartbrief.com, Facebook's ad problem, lots of churn, fewer clicks. A poll by the Associated Press and CNBC reveals that 83% of Facebook users report never or hardly ever clicking on ads or sponsored content, despite frequently visiting and spending lots of time on the site, which translates to a conundrum for advertisers. Quotation: there is a lot of churn in the amount of impressions served just because users are moving from page to page quite frequently. There's not a lot of time spent on each page, said Chad Warren, Adobe Senior Manager of Social Media Product Marketing. That's how we need to look at Facebook, is how can it become an important part of our marketing strategy. For David's Barter community, it's only a small part of our overall marketing strategy. And we urge you to visit small business information. But more importantly than visiting small business information inside of Facebook.com, visit David's Barter community. Get involved in the community, and you will get the same information that we share with Google and Google Plus and Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook. You'll get it all inside of our community, all in one place. That's where we would like for you to get the information about our community. So, Zuck, hang in there. You are your story of entrepreneurship is the most fascinating story that I have ever followed in my 40 years of small business ownership. And I commend you for what you were able to accomplish. And keep it going. It's not going to be easy for folks to do business inside of Facebook.com because there is so much available, and people go from page to page but don't pay attention to the ads that are on that page. It will work for a lot of folks. It won't work for many, many more folks. But it is a great story and a great place to share, to people share information about yourself.